The room went quiet the moment my mom said it. "We wish your sister was our only child." She didn't whisper. She didn't hesitate. She said it clearly, like she'd been holding it in and finally felt relieved to let it out. We were at a family party, one of those forced gatherings where everyone pretends things are fine because there's food on the table and relatives watching. Music was playing softly in the background. My sister was standing right next to her, smiling like she'd just been handed a trophy. I laughed at first. Not because it was funny, but because my brain refused to accept what my ears had just heard. "What?" I said. My dad didn't look at me. He kept his eyes on his plate and shrugged. "Your sister just turned out better. More responsible. More impressive. You know that." My sister crossed her arms, smug. They're just being honest for once. For a second, I thought someone would step in. An aunt. An uncle. Someone. No one did. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't heat-of-the-moment anger. This was a truth they'd been sitting on for years. All the memories rushed back at once, the times my achievements were brushed off, the way my sister's mistakes were excused while mine were magnified. The birthdays forgotten. The comparisons. The way I was always told to be more like her. I swallowed hard. "You don't actually mean that." My mom sighed, irritated. "Why are you always so sensitive? We didn't say we don't love you." "You said you wish I didn't exist," I replied. "That's not what we said," my dad snapped. "Stop twisting things." My sister laughed under her breath. "God, you always do this. Make everything about you." That's when something inside me cracked, but not loudly. Quietly. Cleanly. I realized something terrifying and freeing at the same time. They weren't angry at me. They weren't joking. They weren't going to take it back. This was how they truly felt. I looked around the room. At the decorations. The family photos on the wall, every one of them featuring my sister front and center. Me somewhere in the background or cropped out entirely. I'd spent my whole life trying to earn a seat at a table that never had my name on it. "I'm going to step outside," I said calmly. My mom waved her hand. "Do whatever you need to do." No one followed me. Outside, the night air hit my face and I realized I was shaking. Not from sadness, from clarity. I pulled out my phone and opened the family group chat. Years of messages scrolled past. Requests. Criticism. Silence when I needed support. Noise when they needed something. I typed one sentence, then erased it. Typed again. Finally, I wrote, "I heard you tonight. And I'm done trying to be someone you'll never choose." I didn't wait for replies. I muted the chat. Inside the house, laughter resumed. Plates clinked. Life went on. Without noticing, I was already halfway gone. I drove home that night replaying my mother's words over and over. Each time, they hurt a little less, and made a little more sense. Because the truth was, they hadn't wished my sister was their only child that night. They'd been living like it my entire life. And as I pulled into my driveway, I made a decision I'd been too afraid to make before. If they wished they only had one child, then I would stop acting like I still had parents. Not out of revenge, but out of survival. And that was only. After that night, things didn't explode. They evaporated. No apology came. No follow-up conversation. Just a strange, deliberate silence, like they'd decided pretending nothing happened was easier than admitting they'd crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. Days passed. Then weeks. I stopped reaching out first. That alone felt illegal in our family. I was always the one expected to fix things, smooth things over, apologize even when I hadn't done anything wrong. This time, I didn't. The family group chat stayed muted. My phone stayed quiet. At first, it hurt more than the words at the party. Because silence is a choice. And they were choosing it. Then something unexpected happened. I started breathing easier. Without their constant judgment, my days felt lighter. I didn't replay conversations in my head. I didn't dread weekends. I didn't feel that tight knot in my chest every time my phone buzzed. I focused on my own life, Work, friends, routines I'd neglected because I was always emotionally exhausted from trying to be good enough. One afternoon, my aunt called. "I heard things were tense," she said carefully. "Your mom didn't mean it like that." I laughed, softly, without humor. "How did she mean it, then?" There was a pause. "You know how she is." Yes, I did. A week later, my dad sent a short text. "Why are you being so distant?" No mention of what was said. No acknowledgement of the damage. I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. "I'm not distant. I'm respecting what you said." He didn't respond. Then came my sister. She showed up unannounced one evening, standing in my doorway like she owned the place. Arms crossed. Same expression she'd worn at the party. "You're really milking this," she said. I felt strangely calm. "You didn't defend me." She scoffed. "Why would I? They were telling the truth." That was the moment the last thread snapped. "I'm done competing for scraps," I said. "You can have their approval. I don't want it anymore." She rolled her eyes. "You'll come back. You always do." After she left, I locked the door and slid down against it, heart racing, not from fear, but from adrenaline. For the first time, I didn't chase her words. I didn't try to explain myself. I didn't cry. I slept better that night than I had in years. Because I finally understood something. Families don't get unlimited access to you just because they share your DNA. Love isn't proven by how much disrespect you tolerate. And if someone tells you they wish you didn't exist, the healthiest thing you can do is believe them and choose yourself anyway. I wasn't punishing them. I was protecting myself. The real shift didn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happened quietly, on a random Tuesday morning when I realized I hadn't thought about them at all. No pit in my stomach. No imaginary arguments. No urge to check my phone. Just peace. Months passed. I built routines that had nothing to do with proving anything to anyone. I took a better job. I moved to a new place. I made friends who didn't see me as the other one, the difficult one, or the disappointment. I was just me. Then, out of nowhere, my mom called. Her voice was softer than I remembered. "Careful. We miss you." I didn't answer right away. She continued, "Your sister says you've been acting distant. We don't understand why you're punishing us." There it was. I took a slow breath. I'm not punishing anyone. I just stopped showing up where I'm not wanted. Silence. My dad spoke next, low and uncomfortable. "Families say things they don't mean." "You didn't correct it," I said. "And neither did she." Another pause. Then my mom said the words I'd waited my whole life to hear, but too late to matter. "That's not what we meant." I smiled, even though they couldn't see it. "I know. But it's what you said." They asked me to come to another family gathering. Start fresh. I looked around my apartment, the one I'd paid for myself. The life I'd built without their approval. "I already did," I said. After the call ended, I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. Weeks later, I heard through relatives that my sister was furious. She didn't like that I'd stopped playing my role. That I wasn't there to be compared against anymore. Without me, the family needed a new problem. It wasn't my job to fill that space. I didn't block them. I didn't announce anything. I simply stayed consistent, polite, distant, unavailable. And that's when I learned the final truth. People who benefit from your silence will panic when you find your voice. People who benefited from your pain will call your healing selfish. They wished they only had one child. So I gave them exactly what they asked for. I became someone they no longer had access to. And in doing so, I finally became someone I was proud of.